Spirituality exercises are, I think, just a space and a structure for everyday life, just having your faith. It's kind of like it's to do with your deeper desires and who you are in life, and that's kind of reflected in your work, in your friendship, in your recreation, in where you are, where you live, your friendships, your going out at night. It's just this, it kind of covers everything. It's just this kind of flow from when you wake up in the morning to the evening, where you are in faith and where you're meant to be in the world. I think the core values of the spiritual exercises are about self-acceptance, not condemnation for your past, self-acceptance for your past, and this kind of sense of reflective peace at the centre of your life, that you're valued, that you're loved for who you are as you are now, and that we all have unique talents that we can give to the world. And the fact that loving and living in the world come together, and it's about loving is action, it's in deeds, it's in friendship, it's in partying, it's in whatever you want to be. And it's also in a two-way communication with other people, with yourself and God, with yourself and other people who are important in life. And I think the spiritual exercises kind of slowly over time help you build up the confidence to have this communication with other people, with God, this kind of authentic, I call it kind of authentic, real life. The length of time for the spiritual exercises depends upon the individual, because again it's about meeting your needs. They can take up to from 30 days when you're doing kind of a more intensive one, to between 9 months to 2 years. And you can stop and take time out whenever you need to and come back to them. I was doing them when I went away to Japan for a month, and I was able to take them with me but do them kind of at a lower key. It was kind of like a good way to have a pause. I took them to Paris for the weekend with me. You take them everywhere. I mean, the whole point is that they're for everyday life. You don't have to do anything extra special. All you need to do is, I suppose, give time to yourself and give time to the exercises. The spiritual director or spiritual accompanist, I think, is central to this. I think it's really important to, over time, you build up a sense of trust, and this again enables you for trusting other people and trusting to listen to your own voice. You might meet them once a week to once every 2 weeks. If you're doing it for 30 days, you probably would meet them once a day. Again, it depends upon your needs and what you feel comfortable with. Really, they're there just to listen to you and to listen to the dialogue, the conversation you're having with God or yourself and your other friends in life. And they're really good at pointing out the deeper echoes, guiding you through the stormy bits. They don't, there's no programming, they don't force anything with you, they just listen to you and what your concerns, your troubles, your worries, your needs are. And I've been doing it for a year, over the year you find you can say anything. You have the freedom to discuss, to be very critical about religion, to be very critical, if you want to, about church, because it's about becoming critically aware and waking up. I have found this an amazing counselling, getting to real insecurities and fears and vulnerabilities in life and enabling you. It's kind of like spirituality counselling and friendship guiding, kind of like John Donahue's Anam Cara. It's a way of accompanying you through your own troubles and turmoils, and that's what's most important about this. It's not about, oh, learn about the gospel. It's learning about you in the gospel, where you are in life, because it's treasuring your experience, valuing who you are and how you feel, and that's the most important thing, to value how do you feel. You kind of see the world black and white before and through fear, and now I kind of see it multicoloured, and the fear isn't there anymore. You can just live, you come alive. The spiritual exercises, I think, are about coming alive and waking up.
Was an experience that I had a couple of times. I did it in Cologne and I did it in Australia. And what it is that you go to another country and you're mixed into a group of people from other cultures. So I was with a group of 8 or 9 Irish people on both occasions, and then we mixed with people from countries from around the world. And we went and we had a very challenging experience. I suppose that's the first thing about Magis, that it's a challenging and rewarding experience. So in my case, that was a walk, a very intense walk, where we, in Australia, where we had everything on our backs, our tents and everything else. Didn't see civilization for 4 or 5 days. I suppose faith, spirituality was a very important part of it. So even though we were in a very challenging environment, we supported each other very well, and part of that was the spirituality and the reflection that we did throughout. So, for example, every evening we'd sit down around the campfire and we'd pray together, and we'd share our reflections on how the day was, and we'd talk about maybe the beauty of what we'd seen, the beaches and the mountains and all that. And then we'd talk too, I suppose, about some of the challenges that we had, some of the tough bits. And that happens in a group of 20 or 30 people, so each group would be having a totally different experience. So some people would be walking, some people would be helping the disabled, maybe in a way that that pushes them beyond their comfort zone. Some people will be helping disadvantaged children, things like that. Some people will be doing creative experiments. But the common thing is that it brings all of us outside of our comfort zone, partly because of that fusion of culture, partly because of, say, the difficulties involved in such a heavy walk. But we do that in the light of faith, or at least the search for faith. We come from very different backgrounds, and we share together. So the first week is done as very much a Magus experience, and that's very much led by the Jesuit order and by the various people who are affiliated to the Jesuits, like Sheila here in Ireland. And then the second week is a global event. It's called World Youth Day. It was founded by John Paul II 25 years ago this year, actually. And that was done because John Paul really believed in the youth of the world as being how the hopes of the church might be realised. And it's a week-long, although it's called World Youth Day, it's a week-long event in a city around the world. It's a bit like the Catholic Olympics, and the last one was in Sydney. And you have a youth festival basically for a week. It's done in a Catholic context, so there's Mass every day, but also there's opportunities to share with cultures and other parts of the Catholic faith. And you meet people of great faith, and you meet people who are really searching to find it and really trying to find what it means for them. And then on the last day of that, the Pope comes out and says a Mass, and I think in Rome in 2000 there were 2 million people there, so it was twice the size of the Phoenix Park. And when they're all young people, it's a very good experience, I think, to share your faith, both in that very tight group of 8 or 9 people that you started with the previous week, leading on then to that bigger group of 20 or 30, and then leading on the final day to sharing of faith with the Pope and with hundreds of thousands of other young people. So it's a very heartening experience that you're not alone in your search. Well, Magus, the word means more, and it's about seeking and finding God everywhere. And the Magus program evolved as a World Youth Day preparation program, but it has now developed into being something that's a standalone thing. So successful was the World Youth Day preparation program that people are now doing it in between World Youth Days and also here in Ireland. World Youth Day in 2011 is going to be in Madrid, and Sheila is bringing a group to it. There'll be a Magus, and it'll be another wonderful experience, I'm sure, and I would encourage anybody to go to it.